everyone, Tanya Peluso with Truth Telling Tuesday. Happy solstice, and we've got some juicy truth telling to tell tonight. After last night's Sistership Circle in San Diego, there's a group of Tribal Truth members who meet on Mondays to support one another, hold one another accountable, do some truth telling, go deep to uncover our blocks and move through any of our fears and things that are stopping us. Great, amazing circle. Let me back up a couple months. We signed an agreement with one another to show up no matter what, like no excuses, except maybe if you're on your deathbed, and maybe then, but you were going to come to each and every meeting that was in your calendar until the end of August. Last night we had a little bit of a breakdown, and I can actually take full responsibility for this, and this is why this is so comical for me, because as the leader of the group, everyone is a mirror of me, right? Like whatever I do, like that's really creating the rest of the circle. And I had this circumstance come up where I had to pick up Nyan from the airport and his flight was delayed. And so I was going to be late to the Sistership Circle. What happens? 30 emails later about, the whole circle is giving excuses of why they can't make it. Oh, I don't have it in my calendar. Oh, I have an exercise class. Oh, I have a meeting. Oh, I didn't know. I forgot. Like every single excuse in the book came up. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, like I caused this whole thing to happen by me picking up Nyan at the airport. And what's so interesting is you can say, well, that's such a valid excuse. You have to go pick up Nyan at the airport and we only had one car because my car's in the shop. But the truth is, I could have used the tribe. I could have put the tribe behind me and asked someone else to pick him up. And that's the thing here, this is the first lesson in this whole thing. And that is, who are you going to be to really honor your commitments and honor your word? What is it truly going to take to be there no matter what? Which leads to the second part, and this is something that I learned from T. Harv Eker, and that is how you do one thing is how you do everything. So, Sistership Circle in this instance, and this is how you can apply this to your life if you're watching this video. Sistership is just a training ground. It's it's the playground. It's where we show up and we practice and we take that back into the rest of our life, into our business. So one might argue that, well, it's just, it's just this one time and it's just Sistership Circle, but I'm actually going to assert that how you play in this thing called Sistership Circle is how you play in your life. And so if you're actually struggling in an area of your life, especially your business, it really comes down to how much you're honoring your commitments. And what's so interesting is how we barely can honor our word. And what showed up in this instance yesterday is how we could not honor our word to one another. And if we don't have our word, what do we have? That's such a foundation. It's the groundwork. It's the thing that we can relate to one another with. If I can't trust you to show up at Sistership Circle, what else can I trust you for? And we don't think about it this way, right? Like we don't really think about how this might be affecting the other people in the circle if I don't show up. We don't actually think that we matter that much. But when I actually showed up at the Sistership Circle 30 minutes late, and the 4 other people that were there were absolutely devastated. Their morale was low. They were frustrated. They were like, do I not matter to this person that their exercise class is more important than I am? Or can I trust this person because all of a sudden they have another meeting that they have to go to and that came up and that's more important? or I'm not important enough that this person didn't put it in their calendar. And it's just to start looking at how are you relating to the commitments that you make? And who are you really going to be to honor your word and create that trust in your relationships with the other people who you're making commitments to? This was just a mind-blowing experience and a huge lesson for me, where I got to really see how much I matter. And so that's what I'm bringing to you today, for you to learn from this lesson and to really start to look at how much you matter to other people when you make a commitment to them, and how much you might affect them if you don't show up for them. And to start looking at how else that's affecting the other areas of your life. And so if you're not where you want to be in your business, you're not at the success level, you're not making the difference that you want to make in the world, start looking at just those basic little commitments that you're making to the people closest to you in your life. I sure learned a lot from this. I know the Women in Sistership Circle really learned a lot from this. This was not to make anyone out to be a bad guy. Again, I take full responsibility for this whole breakdown that occurred. This is a beautiful lesson that we can all learn from in this moment. And that's what this tribe is all about, is to really do the truth telling and really show, those sides of ourselves that are ugly or, aren't showing up in the way we want them to, and to hold that space for each one of us to have these learning lessons together. So please leave a comment on the blog below. We would love to hear your feedback, how this might be showing up in your life, what you learned today from this video. And I hope that you'll enjoy the longest day of 2011, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.